Okay, the Renault Zoe really does deserve a talk about costs, and what you can see on this image to start with is that the Zoe the I designates that you own the battery. So that's how you can tell the difference between the models. The I Dynamic and the I Signature are the battery ownership models. Prices start at £28,520 full retail on the road, all the way up to a whopping £31,520 full retail on the road for the Signature nav that I tested with quick charge. Dealer discounts, you do get £4,500 as a UK grant, but they're currently offering £4,250 as a Renault contribution, so that's £8,750 in total deductions. So that means for those cars, the one I'm interested in is actually under £20,000 at the moment with leather seats, £19,770, or the absolute top of the range, £22,870. If you go for the battery hire option, it's actually £5,600 less to buy the Zoe, but obviously then you have to pay for the battery on a lease instead. So the range for the Ioniq, the R110, is £22,920 full on the road price, all the way up to £25,920 plus the battery hire cost, of course. So as an example, I do roughly 9,000 miles a year, presuming a 5-year ownership. That's £89 times 12, £1,068 per annum on renting or leasing the battery. Times that by 5 years, that's £5,340. I spend about £900 a year on diesel, so actually that's more for the battery hire than it is on the diesel cost. And the battery cost, as I said, is £5,600 to buy. So anything more than 5 years or anything more than the 9,000 miles a year, you're talking about the lease being more expensive of the battery than actually buying it. So that tells you where you need to be. These are the annual mileage rates. So it's from 4,500 miles at £59 a month. That's still over £700 a year for the battery lease at 4,500 miles a year, but then basically it goes up in steps of 1,500 miles and at a rate of 8p a mile roughly. So that's £10 extra a month, £120 a year, 1,500 miles, that's 8p a mile. The excess on going over that contracted amount is also 8p a mile. So it's all fair and reasonable. I think though, unless you're going to do the 4,500 miles or less, or unless you're going to do the unlimited, these battery hire options aren't really viable. You might as well. With the battery hire options, you still get the 4,500 UK grant, you still get the Renault contribution. So you still get £8,750 knocked off those prices. So this is where the Zoe looks extremely cheap. So the Ioniq Nav R110 ZE40 40 kilowatt battery, £14,170 discounted on the road price. And if you go right up the top of the Signature Nav with all the leather seats, etc., £17,170. But of course, you've got to add in the cost of the battery hire on top, which, as I showed, can be just as much if you're doing a reasonable amount of mileage as it is to buy the battery in the first place. So basically you have to work out your mileage, work out your cost yourself, and figure out which suits you. My gut feeling is, unless you're doing really low mileage or really high mileage, you might as well just buy the battery. The reason I think that specifically is because of the second-hand value. So let me just cover this separately. Okay, so what's my take on the battery hire and why you should actually buy the battery, not hire it? Basically, when you buy the car, you're paying full retail price for a new car, and you're hiring the battery and you're paying new prices for hiring the battery. When you come to sell your car second-hand, the person that's buying it is buying a second-hand priced car with the amount of depreciation knocked off for market value. But when they hire the battery back from Renault, they're paying exactly the same cost for hiring the second-hand battery as you paid for hiring the brand new one. So to me, that sounds like if the battery component, which is brilliant for Renault because they're getting full price for it throughout the life of the car, if that price remains inflated at a new value, then the only thing that can happen is your proportion of the car that you own, will have to depreciate more to become the correct market value for the car. Obviously, it won't depreciate in line between the two things. One's a fixed price, one's the same price that you keep paying, or could even go up in time. Renault could put the price up. Yes, they could put the price down if batteries cost less, but I don't really see that happening, and I haven't seen it happen so far. So my belief is, because of the next owner having to pay full price for the battery hire, then that will only greater impact your residual value on the car and the amount that your car depreciates by. So in my mind, if you're doing any sensible amount of mileage in a Zoe, you're much better off buying the battery up front, because the retail value of the car second-hand will be much, much greater, because the individuals that are going to be buying it second-hand won't have to pay the full price for the battery. They're effectively buying a discounted battery from you, because you're no doubt going to be depreciating the entire car value, and it will feel to them as though they are paying less for the car overall. So that's my opinion. It's why I've never really liked the Zoe model of hiring the battery. To me, an electric car, part of the fun of going electric is that I'm not going to pay for fuel, or it's going to feel like I'm not paying for fuel because it's going to be on the electric bill or through the solar panels or whatever. So to have a higher cost that equates to more than I'm currently paying on a monthly basis for my diesel just goes against the grain. It doesn't make sense to me on a financial model to have a monthly fee for the costs of running the car greater than a traditional petrol or diesel car. Yes, you can argue the obvious common sense thing that if you put that £5,600 that you've saved on not buying the battery in the first place in a separate account and call it free money, then every time you pay your monthly fee from that account, then you're not going to notice anyway. So I understand that. I understand the reality, and that's what I've said in the video previously, that I actually think that the hire might make sense to people that do either really low mileages or extremely high mileages. But either way, your choice, your opinion. At least Renault gives you a choice, I suppose. Personally, I would go for the purchase. So, hope you've enjoyed these videos on the test drive, on the pricing, and also of the statistics, etc. Zoe was a really nice car to drive. I don't think I've got a lot of negative things to say about the car, only where it doesn't suit me. But as a car, I was very impressed with it. So, until next time, more videos to come. Please keep watching, please subscribe, please like. I'm, as always, in awe of the amount of people that are subscribing and are watching. So, take care, see you soon. Bye.